welcome back to another edition of Manna Moments with Matt. I'm Matt German, coming to you from Huntsville, Alabama. And the verse I want to look at today is Romans 10:17. And this is one of my all-time favorite verses, and I think you'll find out why here in a minute. But Romans 10:17 says this: "So then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh." So then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh. So this verse tells us a couple of very crucial things. Number one, it says faith comes. Faith comes. You know, sometimes we wonder, but according to the scriptures, faith comes. It's not something far off and distant that we can't lay hold of, that we can't grasp, that we can't embrace. Faith comes. And this verse also tells us the other part of it, which is how it comes. How does faith come? Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh. It doesn't come any other way. It comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh. So we can look at that conversely and say, faith won't come if we don't hear it. Faith won't come if we don't hear it, if we don't hear the word. So we've got to hear the word in order for faith to come. How does faith come? Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. That is why it is so crucial for us to actually hear the word preached. Now, I love to study, I love to read, but something happens when you actually hear the word preached. Faith comes. So it's crucial to read the word, it's crucial to hear the word preached, and it's crucial that we learn to speak the word ourselves. Speak the word ourselves. The more of the word that we know, the more we're equipped to speak it. And that is very important. You know, we can go through times and seasons in our lives where everything's great and we're just kind of cruising along and no real issues, no real problems. And then something happens. Something unexpected, something sudden, and we don't know what to do. That's a little bit late to try to start building your faith. That's a little bit late, that's a little bit behind the curve, trying to equip ourselves to have the faith to deal with this sudden situation that just came up. Now, the sudden situation did not take Yahweh by surprise. He knew it was coming, but we didn't. So what do? We've got to be building our faith on a daily basis, and that means that we've got to be hearing the word and hearing it preached. That's why we're so blessed in this generation to have all the technology that we have with MP3 files and videos online, and we really have no excuse. We have more Bible translations than there have ever been in the history of mankind. We have access to the Bible on our iPhones or iPads or tablets or what have you. It's available. We really have no excuse. But we have to do something with it. We have to be devouring the word. We have to be equipping ourselves by the Spirit with that word so that when something does happen, we are fully equipped and we don't have to sit there and think, okay, now what was that scripture verse that deals with this situation? No, if you have to think about it like that, chances are it's not going to go well. But when you've prepared yourself, when you've equipped yourself, and something happens, suddenly those scripture verses will just start coming up in your spirit. You don't have to think about it. It's bubbling up within you. Like Yeshua said, out of their belly shall flow rivers of living water. And one of those elements is actually the word. The word coming up out of your spirit. What do you do with it? You speak it out of your mouth. There's something powerful that happens when we speak His word out of our mouths and we do it in faith. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. So how do we hear? There are about 4 different ways that we can hear. Number one, you can read the word for yourself. And I highly encourage you to do that. Read the word for yourself. Number 2, read the word out loud to yourself or listen to someone else read it out loud. You know, there are many Bible audio programs online that you can download. Free websites that offer the Bible in audio that you can download in MP3 files. and carry with you, and you can listen to it in your car, you can listen to it at the gym, you can flood your senses with His Word on a daily basis and take it in that way. Number three, the third way that you can hear is, as I said earlier, hear it preached. Hear the Word preached. Romans 10:8 actually says the word of faith which we preach. And that is actually what Romans 10:17 is referring back to, is what he had talked about in verse 8, the word of faith being preached. There's a big difference between teaching the Word and preaching the Word. And preaching the Word and teaching the Word are both important, but it's the preaching of the Word that will build your faith. And so find somebody or several somebodies that preach the Word in a way that you can receive it. And then just devour and feed on that Word on a daily basis. And then the fourth way, of course, of hearing the Word is hearing the voice of the Spirit. And that's a whole separate study. It's a whole separate subject. But you look down through Scripture, all the way down through time, people heard the voice of Yahweh. They heard the voice of the Spirit for themselves. And so we've got to learn how to discern and recognize His voice, recognize His promptings, and that will actually help us in our faith walk as well. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of Yahweh. This is Matt German with Manna Moments with Matt from Huntsville, Alabama. I bless you in Yahshua's name, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Shalom.